There have been some massive news coming out of the anime industry over the last few days, and I'm here to get you guys fully caught up on that news. We have some big changes coming to Science Saru, and in wake of those changes, we have an announcement of a new Ghost in the Shell anime. Yes. Sakamoto Days has finally officially been announced to be getting an anime. We have Nier Automata is coming back in summer, which is already looking insane. And we have some new Terminator anime stuff coming out, which is... I don't know, I'm still mixed on that whole thing, but if you're interested in any of this news, definitely stay tuned. Let's kick things off with the Ghost in the Shell news. Yes, Bandai Namco Filmworks has announced that Ghost in the Shell's franchise is getting a new TV anime releasing in 2026. So that's quite a ways away, but at the same time, I'm extremely intrigued by the little teaser they released. Yes, it's going to be done by Science Saru. And for those who don't know, Science Saru is very unique in the way that they animate a lot of their projects. Now, I'm not a fan of Science Saru, but at the same time, I do appreciate that uniqueness. Whenever it comes to a certain franchise they do, in a lot of cases, it always looks a lot different than the other. They put a lot of artistry and uniqueness to their designs and the world building and everything. And I feel like based on this PV, which they released a little teaser, and in this teaser, it shows the original manga of Ghost in the Shell. Now, yes, we've had a lot of Ghost in the Shell series come out, and they're all basically kind of culminations or additions to the original franchise. This is the original manga series that they're going to be adapting. Now, that can mean that they're going to be doing a true original adaptation of the old manga, and at the same time, with so much emphasis on showing those old panels, and yes, the old designs, there's a side of me that almost has this desire and this expectation that I'm already kind of building up in myself, which may be a bad thing to do, that they possibly might actually adapt that old art style. Now, this is a lost art style. You just have nobody really is adapting old manga and whatnot to this older style. Now, you have groups like, David Production and whatnot doing readaptations and whatnot of older series, and they're capturing that older style, and I love it for that. But I'm curious if this will be a case where they might actually capture that style. But that's just, again, my speculation, and I can kind of expect that, again, with Science Saru's style. I absolutely loved Hike Story, and I thought, really, Science Saru was one of the only studios that could really pull that off. So I have a little bit of an expectation there. I'm not going to say that it has to do that, but that's my hope. But either way, I'm excited for it to see what they actually do with it, and we'll have to wait because, again, 2026. Moving on to our next bit, yes, speaking of Science Saru, and I'm not sure exactly which one of these two things was announced first, because it does make you kind of wonder. Yes, Toho has announced that it will acquire all shares of the anime studio Science Saru, and that is going to be happening on June 19th, and at that point they're going to make Science Saru a consolidated subsidiary. So, I don't know, I've been hearing mixed responses to people in regards to this whole thing. Yes, it kind of sucks to have Science Saru not be its own independent thing, but it having shares and whatnot, it did have shareholders already, but at the same time, it does give you a little pause there. Now, I have heard some whispers here and there, some people saying this might be because Science Saru wasn't doing well, but I've seen a lot of financial stuff that was released that I think Toho themselves released that showed that Science Saru was making a lot of profits, so I don't think this is necessarily a move that they themselves were hurting, but more so an idea that because they were doing so well, Toho said, we got to buy that. We need to buy that. And so they basically, again, bought up all their shares. So again, depending on who you ask, a lot of people are either, upset about this change and not upset about this change. It is what it is, in my opinion. I think the big question mark that I have, obviously, is, again, based on the previous news bit about them doing Ghost in the Shell, there is a side of me that kind of wonders, did Toho do this knowing that they're going to be doing Ghost in the Shell, or are they already telling them, hey, do Ghost in the Shell? And at that point, I think Ghost in the Shell is going to be a very telling thing. Again, if they could do that unique art style and whatnot to Ghost in the Shell and do an incredible job with it, do a true adaptation of the original work and all that stuff, and it turns out to be a big success, that could be one of those things that shows that this is a good thing. Like, they're kind of steering Science Saru to doing a project, which, yes, some can argue is rehashing old content. Well, let's make another adaptation of old stuff, which I know that some people are upset about, that they keep doing readaptations of old stuff. I like it. If it's some kind of readaptation of something old and they do a true adaptation, because from what I understand, the original movie that was so successful wasn't really a true adaptation, as far as I know. And so if they can do a true adaptation, again, capture that style, that will show to me that Science Saru is still doing what they do best. So we'll see, but that's some pretty big news there. Moving on, we have Shueisha has announced that, yes, Sakamoto Days manga will be getting a TV anime. Now, this was previously technically announced by Netflix's VP. He stated in an interview that Sakamoto Days was going to be a project in 2024. This is finally the actual announcement. It is happening, and it's going to be premiering in January of 2025. And it does look like, yes, this is something that's been worked on for a while, so it makes sense that he knew that this is coming. We already have a PV for it. I will admit, I have not really looked into anything regarding Sakamoto Days. I've heard people talk about it, I've heard some praise about it, but I've never looked into it. And based on that PV, I'm excited. It looked super good, let's just say that. It looks really good, but at the same time, it has something about it, like just what it seems to be about, which I got a sense from the PV, but it's Taro Sakamoto was an ultimate assassin, feared by villains and admired by hitmen. But one day, he fell in love. Retirement, marriage, fatherhood, and then Sakamoto gained weight. The chubby guy who runs the neighborhood store is actually a former legendary hitman. Can he protect his family from danger? Get ready for an experience of a new kind, action comedy series. Again, you get that sense from that. It shows like this really buff guy that's walking around shooting people, and then suddenly there's a chubby guy that's sitting at home with his family, and he's just like this guy with like this apron on from his work, and he's just beating up things or whatever. It's great. It looks really fantastic. The PV, again, has some really excellent shots of characters like jumping around a corner and shooting. Just the animation itself, the presentation looks fantastic. So I'm actually really, really excited for this. And again, I'm assuming this will be on Netflix because, again, the VP kind of announced that it will be there. But super exciting stuff. Again, releasing in 2025 in January. So it apparently was not a Netflix release in 2024. He's like, damn it. Yeah, there you go. Moving on, I'm actually pretty excited about this, but the official website for Sakuno of Rice and Ruins has released a new PV, and this has announced a July 6th premiere. I think they already announced a summer release, but now we're getting an actual date, which right now the news feeds are full of this date. But yes, I don't remember if I knew that PA Works was working on it. I think I did, but I watched the PV for it, and it looks fantastic. And it has me kind of wondering why PA Works would do an anime project for seemingly kind of I think it was pretty much an indie project. I really badly wanted to play the game, and it has a great style to it. So I'm just hoping, my only hope right now, because the PV looks good, and I do like the style of the original game, but my concern is I hope the story's good enough. Like, is this actually a really good story, or is this just a dumb game and somebody got some money to make an anime out of it? I really do hope that the actual story is fantastic and that PA Works nails it. Moving on, the manga creator Mokuren announced on Twitter that the Summer Hikaru Died manga is going to be getting an anime adaptation. This is another one that I haven't really heard too much on, but the synopsis is two boys lived in a village, Yoshiki and Hikaru. The two did everything together until the day Hikaru was encompassed by a mysterious light. That was when everything changed. Hikaru most of all. Yoshiki still wishes from the bottom of his heart to always stay at his side, but is there even a Hikaru left to be with? Very, very interesting. I don't know. Again, I have no clue about this. The key art they released for it was like, okay, this looks interesting, or I think it was a key art if it was a cover, but it looks interesting, but at the same time, very vague synopsis, so we'll see. Moving on, Shueisha revealed that Living in a F Room manga is getting an anime adaptation. Yeah, of course, this is one that's being done by Anime Festa, so it's going to be one of those, it's a hentai. So, do with it what you wish. Going to be premiering on July 7th. The synopsis is, my room has been turned into a love hotel. Meet Kazuto, who hopes of becoming a photographer didn't pan out, and Yayoi, who successfully achieved her dreams of becoming a model. Two childhood friends who have grown apart suddenly find themselves living together. In the beginning, there's an awkward tension between them, and Yayoi has a secret that she can't tell Kazuto. Then, one night, things start to change. Could they be more than just childhood friends? Hey, there you go. It's literally H is the only area that you can actually have the childhood friend wind. But anyways, that's we'll see. Her secret's probably the fact that she does inappropriate adult stuff with certain people. But we'll see. That's that. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. The official website for TV anime Bye Bye Earth has released a promo video and a July 12th premiere. The novel takes place set on Earth, where all people have taken the form of animals. Belle is the only girl in the world without characteristics of animals. She sets out to discover if there's other beings like her. Belle wields a sword and becomes involved with the struggles between the cities and the outside world. I don't know. In the wake of us watching right now, currently Train to the End of the World, that's kind of interesting to hear this. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Next bit, some exciting news for Kanon fans. Yes, Prototype has announced that they will release the Visual Arts and Keys Kanon visual novel on Steam. I thought it was already released on Switch, but yeah, it's going to be released on Steam with text in Japanese, English, and simplified Chinese. So really exciting stuff there. Definitely check that out if you're a fan of key and visual arts, stuff like Clannad and whatnot. Really cool to see that original series come forward. Next bit, exciting news for those that are fans of Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. The anime series has been announced to be getting a sequel during a special event. They already released a teaser video for it, and yeah, exciting stuff there. I dropped off on the series, but I'm excited for the fans of the series that it's going to continue on. I think they already announced previously pretty much that it's going to get a full adaptation, so this is not too much of a surprise. Moving on, our next bit of news, really exciting news for me, and I hope this isn't a bad sign because I'm really excited for the series, but I wasn't expecting it this soon. But yes, Nier Automata version 1.1a Cour 2 has been announced to be releasing in July. Again, they already announced they're going to be a Cour 2 for the series, and I really wasn't expecting it this soon, and then suddenly out of nowhere, it's coming in July. I'm like, that kind of scares me. That kind of scares me. Hopefully they don't have a bunch of production issues like the first Cour, but we'll see. The trailer also features a theme song sung by Lisa, so if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. It was kind of confusing because the official Twitter account for Nier Automata Anime wasn't announcing the July date, but then I checked the actual description of the PV, and that's where they listed a July premiere. So hopefully that's not a miscommunication on the YouTube channel, but for now I'm going to be assuming that it's going to be July, which sucks because July is already packed. July is extremely packed. Some exciting news. Yes, Blue Archive fans, rejoice if you're in North America. Blue Archive, the anime, is finally available to us in North America on the official global Blue Archive YouTube account. It's there. It's available. The first episode's already up there as a recording of this. Really exciting news because it's been pretty much crickets for a long time as to where this is going to be showing up. I made predictions really early on. There was maybe some sort of issue with licensing out to certain companies like Crunchyroll. I had some people tell me, I don't know what I'm talking about, but again, that was just my prediction at the time. I was just making speculation, and I'm sad that I was kind of right, seemingly. Now, not right in regards to the fact that we have some sort of proof that there was a dispute, but it's kind of an interesting sign to see that it's being released directly to YouTube. Now, I kind of made some speculation before on the idea that it might be possibly because with this whole announcement with the Blu-rays, maybe they couldn't find somebody to pick it up because they want to do the Blu-ray releases themselves, but either way, whatever, it is what it is. The news is YouTube. It's available North America only. So maybe if you're in another region, maybe you can use a VPN through YouTube in order to watch it on the YouTube channel. That way you can support them still while at the same time watch it legally and all that kind of stuff. But really cool stuff there. And finally, our last bit of news. Yes, the Terminator anime is still happening. Netflix has released teaser images of the new Terminator Zero anime and a premiere date on Netflix, August 29th. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. There's a side of me that almost wants them to use like Arnold Schwarzenegger with like an AI to make the Japanese dub. If Arnold Schwarzenegger, the T-1000 or whatever he was, I don't think it was T. It's been a long time. I'm sorry. Whatever the Arnold Schwarzenegger character was, if he is in the anime, that would be interesting. Or I don't know, Kendra Studo would be great. That would be great too. Anyways. We'll see how that turns out. I'm going to have like zero expectations, pun intended, that Terminator Zero is not going to be that great. And maybe they'll surprise me, but that is what it is. But that's it. That's all the news I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment. Let me know what's the most exciting news in this news bit for you. Was it Sakamoto days? Was it, Blue Archive finally coming over? Let me know. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have Patreon link, tips, links, super thanks, membership button below. Greatly appreciate if it does. And y'all take care.